In 2010, the scandalous Russian director Valeria Guy-Germanica is shooting a series about the school. The script describes it like 9A was an exemplary class, while their class leader was Nosov, who became the teacher of the year last year. After his sudden stroke, in the classroom become no one to watch and class leaders are constantly changing. Nosov has a granddaughter, Anya, a difficult teenager, and the new student Ilya Epifanov turns the class and teachers upside down. And so the story develops over 69 episodes, which contain not only the process of learning, but also sex, alcohol, drugs, swear words, fascism and unplanned pregnancies.
Я завтра в школу иду.
В какую школу? Никуда ты не...
Буду учиться, как все.
Ты не как все, ты больна. У тебя легкие, ни в какую школу я тебя не отпущу. Я дверь закрою и будет так, как я сказала. И ключи у тебя отберу. Поняла меня?
Оля Budilova is the most beautiful girl in her class and school. Self-confident, frivolous, but a very deep character who cannot stand it when someone overshadows her. Anya Nosova is the granddaughter of the former school principal, who is being raised by her overprotective grandparents and has been homeschooled for 2 years. She will later return to school, but her relationship with classmates will be very difficult, as Anya will be bullied for literally everything she does. Ilya Epifanov is a boy who had to grow up quickly because of his mother's illness. He is bold, rude, proud and insidious other. Misha Dyatov is a calm, intelligent guy who is in love with Anya Nosova, but he expresses his feelings in a very strange way. He writes threatening, anonymous text messages and slips her naked photos to her grandfather, causing him to have a stroke. He will hide this until the last episode. Arseny Ivanovich is a chemistry teacher who wanted to help Nosova endlessly, but later he was almost fired because of accusations of harassment by Anya herself. Valentina Haritonovna, aka Harya, is the school principal and homeroom teacher of class 9A. Her lessons are boring and she has no authority among her classmates and colleagues. She wants to retire but cannot because her daughter is entering university. Natalia Nikolaevna, also known as Fizichka, is a young teacher who dresses brightly, always wears makeup, jokes around with her students, has a difficult family relationship and cheats on her husband with a student father. Later she replaces Harya and becomes the new homeroom teacher for class 9A.
Ты переменилась, необычно. А это что за стиль готы?
Это эмо.
Each of these characters has their own storyline. For example, Oля Budilova likes Lyoha, a high school student with raging hormones. The only reasonable way Oля can get his attention is to offer to sleep with him. Later, she will worry about a positive pregnancy test. Oля also hates her father, who abandoned them and wants money for his part of the apartment. She ruins her relationship with her mother, who agreed to these terms and took out a huge loan. Later, Oля meets an adult man who sleeps with her and takes her to restaurants, and she believes that this is her true love. The pregnancy, by the way, was false. Ilya Epifanov's mother is ill, therefore he attends to school just to sit around, spending most of his time trying to find money for his mother's surgery. He needs to persuade her because she become religious and treated with folk remedies and supplements. In addition to solve his mother's problems, he loves Budilova, who doesn't love him. He doesn't like that Oля behave frivolously and sleep with an adult man for food. Anya Nosova has problems with society, or rather, society has problem with her. Her classmates don't accept who she is. Her friends constantly tease her, and her grandparents still can't come to terms with the fact that Anya is gradually becoming an adult girl who needs support and freedom. But she has been homeschooled for 2 years, so when she goes back to school, she becomes angry and sees only threats in the world around her. Her chemistry teacher, Arseny Ivanovich, comes to help her. He offers to let her stay after class to catch up her studies and keeps an eye on her so that her grandparents can rest easy. She is trapped in a vicious circle of guardianship with no one around who understands her. At the end of the series, she finds the best way to end it all is to take her own life.
Вообще представить не можете, что со мной происходит. Что вы вообще знаете про жизнь? Сидите тут и смотрите на меня!
Аня!
Не трогайте меня! Не плачьте! Я умираю!
The events surrounding the characters shows that each hero has a personal life besides their work or studies. In addition to solving class problems, each teacher has his own problems with partners, problems with colleagues, problems with building authority and mutual respect with children. Every student has problems even during the lesson, which do not allow them to study in peace. At every word they say, the teachers are nagging, classmates laughing and mocking, and after the school bell, each one of them go to his own business. Someone does homework for a gold medal that his or her mother needs, someone drinks beer in the basement because they have not found themselves useful in other things, someone will go to enlighten the world of chauvinism and fascism, and someone to the lover, who will pick up from school by car and take you to a restaurant, will arrange leisure, cool time together, what was missing физичка with her husband.
Я хочу, чтобы большая ядерная бомба упала на землю и все сдохли.
The series became a sensation in Russia and was banned from broadcast almost immediately after its premiere. Instead, discussion programs were launched, where teachers, deputies and children discussed how perverse the series was. Teachers were offended that they were portrayed in a bad light, and lawmakers were upset that the picture of school was distorted and presented as a truth. A censored version was shown on TV, which made the story seem clumsy, and after the 7th episode, the show was taken off the air due to public pressure. But despite the ban, Школа became one of the most talked about series of the 2010s in Russia. For teenagers, it was the first time they saw something on screen that actually reflected their own lives, not polished, not idealized, but raw and painful. Alcohol, drugs, bullying, early relationships and depression were all shown directly, without sugarcoating. Parents hated it, but teenagers kept watching online, quoting the characters and recognizing themselves in them. Parents and teachers didn't hear the main. Also, it sounded right in the commercial of the series.
Хотите за нас все решать?
Типа уверены, что проблемы есть только у вас.
Да что вы вообще про нас знаете?
This is what society was afraid of. The school was shown as it really is. One of the strongest points of show was brutal honesty. The creators deliberately used handheld cameras, long silences and improvised dialogue to create the feeling of documentary, rather than a soap opera. This gave the impression that series wasn't scripted at all, but simply recorded everyday life inside an ordinary Russian school. Despite the show's wild popularity, the actors didn't become famous. On the contrary, most of them try not to mention their participation in the show, but the Gen Z and Gen Alpha remember the show again and again as an important part of cultural history. The main idea conveyed by the series is that nobody cares about each other. Anya Nosova died because of bullying and rejection, but the lives of other people go on. Dyatlov, who was in love with Anya, will mourn her for a week and then start thinking about applying to college. The физичка went straight from the funeral to a karaoke bar with her student. Now, with the thought that Anya Nosova is no longer here, only two people remain, her overprotective grandmother and grandfather. They were so worried about her that they lost her. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more Slavic stories, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Спасибо. See you next time.
Тупая, он тебя любит.
Что ты кидаешься? Вообще офигела, блин! Да ты как он! Ты как он, понимаешь? Ты ничем от него не отличаешься. Ты такая же дура, как он. Я вас ненавижу.
Дура ты, блин, тупая! Он тебе только смс-ки писал, больше он ничего не делал!
Ты поверила ему, а не мне.